Well, good evening and welcome to Ollie Campbell Park for this All-Ireland League, Premier League division game. Deferred from Saturday when we were all busy doing other things and watching other games of rugby. But today, Old Belvedere will be welcoming and hosting Suttonians in what will be Suttonians' fourth game of this season, and Belvedere's third. This game will be a battle for fifth place. The winner will move up to fifth, and the defeated will be in sixth place. There's three teams below these who have yet to win a game. Suttonians and Old Belvedere have both won one of their opening games. And then at the top of the table, Bowes, Railway Union and Blackrock all undefeated, and Ballincollig with 3 wins from 4 games. Suttonians come into this having played 3 games. They beat Ballincollig 12-5, but then suffered defeats to Railway Union and Bowes, whereas Belvedere so far, they suffered a defeat to Blackrock that perhaps they'll look back on and regret that defeat. But they had a good, solid win against Wicklow, 32-0 in their last outing. Joining me today in the commentary box, Hayley White from Belvedere, Talla. You know, I could see the letters in my mind and couldn't get them out of my mouth. Talla and, of course, Leinster. Good evening, Hayley.
Good evening, Craig. How are we getting on?
Sure, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. The season well underway now. And how do you see this one going?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a tough game for both teams. I think, like you said, it's a battle out there for fifth position, and I think both teams will certainly fancy their chances in this fixture. So, you know, they're the games you want to be a part of. They're the ones you want to be involved with on either side of it. You want a good fight, a good battle out there, and I think we're definitely going to see that tonight between these two teams.
Well, Belvedere out on the pitch already. You can see with our roving camera, and the pictures tonight brought to you in our Walsh Productions super stuff. And we'll obviously have good coverage of this. And we have a ref link today. Do you know who our referee is?
Yeah, we have 3 referees out tonight. So in the centre, we've got John Flynn in the middle. Then we've got 2 touch judges, one with Niall Callery and second with Paul Bosco-Karagandu. So experienced team of 3 out tonight. So hopefully it'll run nice and smoothly.
Well, we've certainly been hoping for better weather than we've got. Of course, this time of year now, completely dark, but the rain falling. I don't think they make the ball a bit slippy, perhaps, yeah. But overall should be.
Temperatures were due to drop, but it's still staying all right. So I think, like that, I think it will be a bit slippy. Ball could be a bit slippy tonight. So you see plenty of knock-ons and a good contest at scrum time. I think we'll definitely be seen tonight.
And a few changes to the Belvedere side this year. Do you want to take us through those that you know about?
So yeah, there's a good few names coming into the Belvedere starting lineup and things like that. So it's it's great to see fresh names on the screen. It's great to see different players getting new blood. So the front row's taken up this evening by starting with Hannah Wilson, Jess Keating and Anya Rutley. So Hannah Wilson's player who's come across from Port Darash. She has done amazing work there. Was captain doing the 23s this year as well. Jess Keating was over with in America playing rugby over there and for college and had great experience, moved back. And then you've Chloe Dunn, Caitlin Doran take up the second row with Amy O'Mahony and Leslie on flank and Adon Murta in at 8. Jade Gaffney is in 9 at scrum half. Very experienced scrum half there, especially for her age and coming from Navan. Emma Kelly at 10, Monona in at 12, Katie in at 13. Megan Edwards and Emma Tilly are wingers and fullback taken up by Anya Donnelly.
Well, that's the side for the Old Belvedere 15, and it's a good kick. It's found some space on the left-hand side. Suttonians leaving a bit of a gap there, and it's enabled Belvedere to carry the ball up towards the 22. Just taking it around the fringes now. And for the first time it comes out. Leslie Ring, the captain, driving up into the middle. She's into the 22. The ball coming out to the right-hand side. Chloe Dunn going through the hands nicely. Good tackle, well needed by the Suttonians prop. And now they go back the other way. Caitlin Doran there, doing the donkey work. Another good drive up the middle. Left behind for Jade Gaffney. She gets a nice pass out. And it goes across the back line nice and smoothly out to the wing. And unfortunately, just knocked on there. You could just hear the referee's comments in the background. He spotted that knock on, but a good, bright, promising start for Belvedere.
Yeah, good intensity there from the get-go, and you can see they're trying to get that ball through the hands. They don't really want to go into rucks and like tonight. They want to just get that ball nice and quick, keep it alive, and play it out wide where possible. They have two speedy wingers there with Emma Tilley and Megan Edwards, both with super burners to absolutely burn people on the outside. So you can see what they're trying to do: get that ball out wide, nice and quick, and try to exploit Suttonians on the open side on the wings.
Well, first scrum of the evening goes to Suttonians. Referee taking his time to make sure that this first one is a steady scrum. Ball goes in to the tunnel. Picked up. Brenda Barr doing a good job for Suttonians there, helping to clear the area. And now it goes back to the forwards again. And this time it's a knock-on by Suttonians, and it's picked up, jinking through the cover. Goes to ground. Anya Rutley was the intended target. It's gone a few yards further back. But again,
advantage over for the knock-on.
Just as the referee calls advantage over. It's a good counter-ruck by Suttonians. Really have slowed that ball up. And finally the ball comes out to the wing, although not the space she would have wanted. And the forwards driving back up again, and the forwards are making ground on each occasion here. Emma Kelly doing a good job of feeding her forwards. Now on this occasion it goes a bit wider. Donnelly finds a gap, half gap, gets through it. More room on the blind side perhaps.
Crossing.
Referee not happy with the supporting lines of the Belvedere players, and it's a penalty to Suttonians. And, well, they'll be glad to clear their lines here.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a case that they'll be happy now just to get it out of here, play it out maybe in their own half, out of their own half, and maybe put a bit more pressure on Belvo's defence and see how the first line out pans out.
Well, they bring it up just to the halfway line. That sort of way that the ball tends to go into touch in such a way that one line out has a line. Makes it easier for the referee, I suppose. But a bright, promising start from Belvedere. They'll be happy with the way it's gone so far in the first 5 minutes. Good crowd here tonight for a Tuesday evening, a wet Tuesday evening.
Definitely, I think people are missing the midweek rugby, so they're happy just to get out and see a bit of live action.
Well, that was tapped back, I think, by Captain Leslie Ring, but Suttonians pounced on the loose delivery, and now Belvedere have counter-rucked and got the ball back.
No advantage for the knock-on back here. From down, black ball.
Back to the first knock-on. Advantage not taken advantage of by Belvedere.
It's the second scrum here of the day, and then I think Belva would have been slightly more dominant in that last scrum, so I think Suttonians will want to just get their front row a bit more steady. I think Belva got an early push on it, which gave them the front foot, so see how Suttonians here respond to this one.
Fine.
Well, very steady scrum from both sides. Referee will be pleased with the way that went. It goes out to Kelly. Skip one, tries to go through the gap. Well, a bit lateral running there. Megan Edwards just running across the pitch. There's no forward momentum here at the moment. Well, Belvedere can count themselves quite lucky there. That play, they just seem to be going laterally, and it allowed for errors, and they could have found themselves very easily 20 yards behind where they are now. Yes. The kick for touch is a good one.
Yeah, as Emma Kelly, they're just clearing the lines, just bringing it up to the halfway line here now. So give time for Belva just to reset, settle it down a bit now, maybe clear out the first wins, and then we'll go again and rebuild from here.
There's any nerves these teams had before this game? Well, I'm truly buried by now.
Yeah, you're fine on the line.
Well, not straight. It will be the ref's call there.
Line out option.
Sometimes it's caught on the outside arm. Sometimes it's caught before the scrum half's hands. And That was the latter on that occasion. Scrum down to Suttonians.
Yeah, missed opportunity there from Belvedere. But like you said, it's a miserable night here. It's a bit wet, so the hooker throws will be probably a little not as efficient as they would have liked them to be, not having as much grip on the ball. So I think a few hooker throws are going to be expected for this evening.
Coach.
A very slippy ball.
Fine.
Unlike the World Cup, where you have 3 people every metre drying and cleaning balls. Not quite that way in Ollie Campbell Park tonight. Ball delayed at coming out of the scrum, but then a half break. Neve O'Brien it is, makes that break. And they've managed to pull Belvedere offside, and there is a penalty advantage here. They'll be looking to create something with this free play.
Play on.
Still advantage for that offside, of course.
Coach.
And no advantage accruing.
No advantage for
Whilst Donnelly thought she could clear it, the referee brings them back from the penalty.
Yeah, you can see what Suttonians again. You can see what they're trying to do. Just make Belvedere have to make that decision and either bite or push across. So it was, they saw nothing was coming, so they decided maybe let's try a chip over the top while we have the free play, and didn't come off. So ref's happy enough to come back for the advantage.
Well, the out half Frost kick, not making touch, and that's enabling Belvedere to run it back. They've brought it outside the 22 now. The kick option taken away, or the kick for touch taken away anyway. It doesn't stop the kick down the field. It's a loud bounce, and it finds some turf, and this will allow the covering players to come up in a line. That's super run. So forgive me.
Back.
And that's a fine tackle by Donnelly. Saw the player coming through the crowd of players. Put in a fine tackle. Well, that's a super drive there. 15 metres made, and then the ball given away by holding on. That's the signal from our ref. And that will give Belvedere a chance to establish a foothold deep in the Suttonians half now.
Yeah, you can see them in there, just opting again, just to get a bit of meters up on the lines. It was a great clearance kick there for her, just to put a bit more pressure again on Suttonians, just outside their 22. So good attacking platform now for Old Belvedere. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do, if they go for either a maul option or get it back out to the backs quick and spread that ball wide and bring on the attack and then again out from the wings.
Well, you can see on that wide picture just how much rain is falling. It's quite cosy in the comfort of the clubhouse where we are, behind the windows. And that's a better line out for Belvedere on this occasion. Another drive again. Just making yards at a time. And unfortunately, Leslie Ring, slippery ball, escapes her grasp, and it'll be another scrum down. We did say we were going to have a fair few scrums during this game.
Absolutely, and Leslie's normally safe as houses on those balls, so you can see it's just the weather just impacting it there, and it's I think it's a case of sympathetic passes on a night like tonight until you get a bit more used to it, and then you can kind of start firing a few bullets around the field. But for now, I think keep the passes soft and make sure the ball's nice and safe and when they collect it.
Well, these scrums have worked very well so far. Both sides pushing straight. Another pick up by the number 8. Tries to find somebody outside her. Had 2 to choose from. Instead chose the gap between them. And that's a fabulous tackle, driven back. Belvedere with the chance of the counter ruck, but Suttonians, well, they kept the ball safe. And that's a super kick down the field. That is making yards and yards. Almost better that it didn't find the touchline. And the cover, well, they came up in 1s and 2s, and that's the easiest way to pick them off if you're running back. The one thing you don't want to see is a straight line of defenders. And on this occasion, they came up staggered. And it's let Belvedere get back to close to halfway. Kelly swinging it out to the right. And now finally they've got the winger with some space. She's already made 15, 20 metres before she meets a Suttonians player. Fine tackle by the full-back. Lauren Farrell McCabe doing a good job for
Knock on.
Suttonians there. And in fact, they've regained the ball. They have the advantage of a knock-on. And now the referee's whistle will go for the second knock-on.
Yeah, it was a bit of it was a good play there from a Belvedere like that. They managed to get themselves from almost their own 22 back to just beyond the halfway line, even almost the 10-metre line there. And you can see there that this fancy footwork from Megan Edwards in the far wing, that once she's given into her space, she can make an inch into a yard and dance through it, make it look easy. So it took 3 or 4 defenders to get her down eventually, but in that space alone, they'd gained 10 metres or so, and that's what we want to see. And again with Emma Tilley on this wing, so the two wingers are definitely two to watch, and you don't want to be giving them much space tonight.
That's a super scrum from Belvedere on this occasion. However, the referee deciding that they weren't pushing straight, it went round the corner, and that's given another penalty to Suttonians.
Yeah, I think he's the same there. I think it was Hannah Wilson on the loose side there, and that side he's just saying she wasn't driving straight there, but hard to tell from this angle where we are, but he's got the best view in the house of it, so we'll take his word for it.
Well, suffering the same way Andrew Porter did against the All Blacks, just the referee just seeing the hips move out, and once that happens and you push through, then the scrum is always going to turn.
Yeah, that's it. And I think it's all about, in these situations, just painting that picture for the referee. And if it's very easy for a ref, they look down, they see hips are angled one way, that it's very easy just to ping that penalty the other way then.
Well, that's a good throw and a very good take at the back of the line out. Unfortunately for Suttonians, the pass out the back line not as good as was required. And they're having to rebuild here now, and that's a thumping tackle from Belvedere. Good quick ball for Suttonians, and now all of a sudden Belvedere looking to get in and snaffle that ball, but Suttonians again protecting the ball so well in these rocks and mauls. Well, that seemed to be a designed play, giving the ball back for the kick down the field, but what a super take. Jay Gaffney doing a fabulous job there for a side, mopping up at the back. Good round of applause from the crowd, and it is a good crowd we have here tonight. Again, driving through the forwards. Belvedere have made ground both ways, both with the ball going across the back line and with the driving forwards. And on this occasion, Kelly, well, she put boot to ball. Suttonians have dealt with that very well.
Knock on.
Well, that's unfortunate. And again, lateral running. Needs somebody to straighten.
Not held.
Emma Tilley taking the ball on a few yards. And now the counter-ruck, most exceptional from Suttonians. Belvedere just didn't commit enough players to that ruck, and they couldn't protect the ball. And a quick take from Suttonians means they've gained 15 metres. Unusual that they didn't take the kick to touch there.
Yeah, I think they weren't just, maybe they saw the opportunity there to take the quick tap, but I think the lineouts are working well. They're throwing well and they're gathering well. So definitely, I think, especially in that position, once you're in your own half, you just want to get meters up. So another good turnover there. I think Hannah Wilson, was over that ball, but she'd put in a pumping hit there just earlier to force that knock on from Suttonians. So it was, she's definitely hungry for it tonight, and you can see that in her.
Well, one would suggest that perhaps it's the best way of keeping warm is to keep busy. And she's certainly doing that at this stage. Well, Belvedere line out, just near the Suttonians' 10-metre mark. And now Val going across the back line. Lona trying to make the break. Comes back down to the forwards and back out. And this is super play. Beats one player with the step. But then a super tackle from Suttonians. Drives her back, and they'll have to start again. Nice drive into the middle of the park. Caitlin Doran, well, she's certainly making her presence felt at the moment. Another good drive up. Good ball presented back. Just Keating hitting the line at speed.
Two, you're held in the tackle, you can't get up.
Well, had to release the ball. Failed to do that part of it. And it cost her side a good attacking position. Well, as we approach the halfway mark in this first half, 16, nearly 17 minutes gone. And we're still scoreless here at Ollie Campbell Park.
It's been end-to-end stuff, and in a way that it's within 22 to 22. There haven't been any major attacking opportunities really for either side, but both teams defending well, and both teams you can see wanting to play and wanting to get that ball through the hands. So that's what you want. It's a good contest. It was always going to be. So good to see it's living up to it.
Nice line out from Suttonians again. They certainly have put some work in there, and that's paying off for them. Good driving run into the middle of the field. Ball comes out again. Long pass from the out half. Initial tackle not made. Just allowing the player to get to ground. And around the corner, and that's a good drive again. Well, you can see where the strength of the Suttonian side is at the moment. Driven back on this occasion, but again, keeping the ball safe, and that's the important thing as far as Suttonians are concerned. Quickly away from the ruck, across the back line, drawing, giving. It hasn't resulted in space for the winger on this occasion, but good play. And again, Suttonians, they're doing such a good job of keeping the ball safe, retaining possession. Drive up through midfield. Tackle not putting her to ground. She's managed to make a few extra yards. Well, one-on-one. And just the ball just squeezed out of the hands. We did say how wet this ball is, how slippery it would be. Bar a soap department. Oh, shown again. And luckily enough for Suttonians, well, he'd given an advantage over.
Yeah, it was a big tackle there from Claude in the backfield, and just squeezed that ball, as you said, squeezed it out as a knock-on. Had the advantage, so was able to then just clear the ball, relieve the pressure there, and an unlikely missed catch there from Lauren Farrell-McCabe in the backfield, where again she's normally safe as houses. So you just see, goes to show that the weather's certainly playing its part in this game.
Crouch. Fine.
Well, the scrum down on the 10-yard line, and the Suttonian scrum half has got there ahead of Jay Gaffney. He's done a super job going down on that one. Rachel McAvoy doing the job for Suttonians on that occasion. They drive up again, and again their ball retention very good, but on this occasion scrum half taking too long with the ball in her hands. Really needs to do that thinking before she picks up the ball. That's a good steal from Belvedere. And although the ball is scooting around, it is Belvedere who go down on it and secure.
Advantage knock on.
Well, it's certainly the most common offence we've seen today is the knock-on. It really is a wet and miserable day in Ollie Campbell Park. It hasn't stopped all these people coming out to watch this game, whether it be from the safety and warmth of the clubhouse or out on the sideline. Scrum down then, just about on the halfway line, right in front of us here. I must, of course, thank the ref for being willing to wear the ref link. It does provide us with such good information from the middle.
Definitely, yeah. So it was great to hear what's going on, and it not to becoming just a guessing game.
Scrum half's pass goes behind the out half, but she manages to somehow get it out to her first centre. And that's a super drive. She's made 15 metres just by hopping along with a Belvedere player attached to her ankles. Lovely pick-up. Ball thrown out to the ground. And she managed to pick it up cleanly without another knock-on. And a drive into space. And it's the yards after the tackle that the Suttonians are making that will be encouraging for them. They have the wind at their back in this first half.
No hands now.
You can see the direction of the rain on that wide shot. comes back into midfield. Oh, she skews the chance of the pass. Comes back again. On this occasion, Caitlin Faust taking the ball up herself. Well, you hear the cries of the spectator on the sideline. Can't take the 9. And this one goes out to the winger and, just forced into touch. Dreadful conditions to be playing in, but they are providing us with some entertainment here.
They definitely are. And, for a game at 22 minutes in and to be able to still say 0-0 and, again, for even though there hasn't been any real exciting line breaks or threats, it's still been a very entertaining game. And you can see both of them, like I said earlier, are certainly trying to get those line breaks, but the defence, credit to both teams, has been really, really solid. There hasn't been really any breaks in defence at all. So, they've really both been upping on their defensive connectivity, which has been fantastic.
Yes, the defence certainly on show tonight. That one goes through the hands, quite literally, and now there's some space. Emma Tilley it is, racing down the wing and showing the pace she has. She takes on the full-back and she's handed her off, and it's just a race to the line now. And one suspects she's going to get there. The diving tap tackle missing, and she gets in over the line. She'll take it behind the posts to make the conversion that much easier. Super bit of pace. You did tell us about her at the start of the game, Hayley, but my goodness, she showed a clean pair of heels there.
That's it. She, once you give her any sort of space, she's just gone. And even though she came up against a defender or two, she sees them as speed bumps and off she goes again. And she's just like that. She just puts the ball in one hand, and once you know that ball's in one hand, you're going to get a handoff if you don't get low enough, which is exactly what happened. Off she went, put the ball down between herself and her body and her arm, and off she went down the sideline, and then managed to be able to dot it down behind the post. So that's the kind of stuff that the likes of Emma Tilley can do, and she's dangerous, and you can see how she's been capped by Ireland.
Well, that's the first marks onto the scoreboard. Belvedere 5, and now the conversion to be added. And that one just scoots wide of the posts, so it will remain Old Belvedere 5, Suttonians 0, and we have our first score of the game.
So I can see here in the replay, so it was well gathered at the line out, and you can see the position that they were in there. They were within their own 22. They said, let's just go through the hands here. Well gathered there in the middle of the field by Katie. Katie then was able to get it out to Anya, who was able to then get it back out to Emma, and Emma just pins back the ears, puts the ball under one arm, keeps one hand free for that handoff and that fend, and off she goes down the wing. And in fairness now, for Suttonians, their number 11, Sophie Gibney, did great trying to track back. She nearly had her, but Emma Tilley just proven to be that bit too fast, too quick to be stopped.
Well, Lauren Farrell McCabe, you were quite right. She just went in too high, and that enabled the handoff to work. And that was Suttonians' last line of defence, really. So 5-0 to Belvedere. Suttonians kick off. And then they're back into the Belvedere half. And they pick up a penalty very early on. One suspects they'll be looking for the corner here.
Yeah, I think so. I think they just need to calm the heads now a bit, take a few deep breaths and just get going again. And they go for the tap. So anyway, they're happy to keep playing rugby.
That's what they want. They want the ball in their hands.
Backwards. Both back.
Back in the day, this would have been the sort of rugby where you definitely thought it was going to be a 10-man game. But here we see the ball being spread wide and far by both teams. Standard of defence so high, you have to probe all across the field in the hopes of finding a gap. Well, the referee a bit lenient perhaps on the offside line there, but Suttonians are making the most of it. Good hands. And pushes them into the Belvedere 22, and now they've gone wide and wide right. Ball fouls the turf again. Tackle called. Yes, I've been very impressed by Suttonians and the protection they give the ball at each breakdown. There haven't been too many turnovers at the rucks and mauls. Oh, she's got through. It's going to be a despairing tackle at the end. Back into the 22 again. Plenty of bodies out to the right now. Belvedere cover desperately being dragged across. Takes on a couple of attackers, get past the first, escapes the second, goes to ground, and they're just 10 metres out now. Pick and go. And one has to feel there must be space out somewhere. Belvedere defending very narrowly, but on this occasion it worked. The Suttonians pinged for hanging on.
Yeah, commentators curse on that one. After you just saying they hadn't been pinged on the at the breakdown there. So yeah, they've been doing really well, just keeping that ball really safe and solid, and a nice tidy ball at the back of the back of the ruck there for Rachel McElroy all match. So just like that, I think Belvo were quick and they were smart on that one. They bide their time there nicely on it, and got rewarded with a nice penalty.
Well, Belvedere clearing their lines. You may have noticed when play was back near the posts, the time on the scoreboard showing 21:30 at the moment. It's just 6 minutes behind, but that's more a technical detail than anything else. The score and the time on your screen is correct. There are 27 minutes gone. Scrum down then, just outside the Belvo 22. They need this ball. It's picked up. Mercer picking up and driving. Clearing kick.
Ball's out. Tackle release.
Nice pass out of the tackle as they break into the Suttonians half, looking for support, getting it there, and the ball out to the wing up. She cuts back inside. And that's super play from Belvedere, looking for support, looking for players in space. And it's gained them a good 50 metres up this pitch. And they go wide again now. And then drive up the middle, committing more and more defenders. Is it creating more spaces? Kick goes forward. Nicely taken, though. One feels that was perhaps waste of an opportunity.
Tackle has to be below the sternum. Seatbelt tackle by 11.
Yeah, so you can hear there John Flynn, the ref, is just explaining there that the new tackle height has obviously come into force this season. So tackle height has to be below the sternum. So he just wasn't happy with the height of that there. Again, it was against Megan Edwards. So just giving them a nice clear warning there that make sure to get those tackle heights a bit lower. So we'll definitely be looking out for them for the rest of the game.
Well, the AIL not quite at the stage of TMOs reviewing everything, but at the moment the referee's doing a good job of keeping an eye on absolutely everything that's happening out there. Jumped across the line out, takes the catch, secures the ball, and now Mercer driving on. Looking all pass along the ground. It comes out. Donnelly just dinking in the kick, causing problems for the Suttonians' defence, and all they can do is clear it, and that is a super clearance kick. Good distance, bringing it back outside the 22 and up towards the 10-metre line.
Good clearance indeed, yeah. It was just like that, under pressure, spotted where she needed to get the ball to and execute it really, really well. And you can see now that Belvedere trying to put that pressure on the back three of Suttonians, making them make that decision, making them either step off the line, create more spaces in the attacking or in the defensive line for the attack, and just make them obviously have to drop a player and cover that space in behind. So smart plays from Belvedere.
Crooked, option.
Well, referee deciding that one was crooked again. It was a nice planned move, I suppose, putting the jumper up just at number 3. And the ball to be lifted over the Suttonian jumper at 2. On this occasion, just a little bit crooked, and it's given Suttonians the put into this scrum on their own 10-metre line. Into the last 10 minutes of the half now. Just that one score. Winger flying in from the halfway line. Bright picks up and actually would describe as gives to the scrum half rather than a pass. They go to ground again. Good counter ruck from Belvedere just as the scrum half was trying to pick that one up. And a good drive. Certainly plenty to encourage Suttonians here at this stage. Good, powerful pack, doing a lot of work for them at the moment, driving the ball up. Oh, super tackle, though. Emma Kelly it was who put in a cracking tackle, and that's a knock-on. Not deliberate.
There's a clear line break, 2 people outside you, yellow card.
Well, the referee has decided it was quite deliberate, and that's 10 minutes in the bin.
Hang on. 7 minutes.
Well, 7 minutes to half-time. So Belvedere will be down to 14 for the rest of this half and for the start of the second. Penalty beautifully judged. Super kick with the wind, admittedly, but even so, to make that sort of distance, that's a super kick despite the efforts of the Belvedere players to keep that one in. And this puts Suttonians in a very good place, and they have the numbers advantage now.
Gemma Jackson there, unfortunately, just getting the yellow card, just
good.
with the referee deeming that an intentional knock-on with a clear overlap on the outside. So I think he was deeming there was a 2-on-1 and a clear scoring opportunity far back in the pitch. But I mean, he's certainly not wrong. So it'll be definitely interesting to see now how Belvedere adapt with a player down in the back line.
Well, poor throw from Suttonians. Definitely wasn't straight, but it's to Belvedere's advantage. This one's let go by the ref. It's a good commit of the player before the pass. Again, not letting the ruck develop. They're trying to get the ball away quickly.
No hand.
The ball comes out on the narrow side again. Donnelly it is, taking it up.
Roll away, blue.
Well, this is advantage to Belvedere as they try and drive up the middle again. Now they're going to spread it wide. Again, just a little bit lateral from Belvedere.
No advantage.
And the Suttonians cover that threat. The referee takes them back for the penalty. This would be an excellent opportunity for Belvedere to put one down into the corner for the line out.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting now to see what they decide to do, and especially with that player down, if they decide to just tuck it under the shirts and off they go, which is exactly what they're going to do. So, right option here, I feel, on this one.
Leslie Ring it is who takes it up to the 22. Although not taken cleanly, the referee deciding that one went backwards. Covered, desperately trying to get across for Suttonians on the left-hand side, and that left a little gap. Jay Gaffney exploring the fringes. Well, excellent work from Suttonians. They just couldn't let her clear away. And it's another penalty, allowing them to clear their lines once again.
Jay just there, spotted the gap, decided to take it in herself, and just left herself a bit exposed and got the turnover there, and it was quick reactions from Suttonians.
Another tap and go as we enter into the last 5 minutes of this first half. Remember, Suttonians have a player advantage at this stage. Going along the back line, looking for a chink, looking for the gap. It's not there at the moment. Belvedere doing a good job of covering up the fact that they do only have 14 on the pitch after that deliberate knock-on. Driving in again, trying to commit the defenders. Belvedere having to take steps backwards to stay onside. On this occasion, that's top work. Belvedere earning the penalty. Another holding on, and on this occasion, time goes off.
Yeah, again, Hannah Wilson again in on that one. So she was straight over that ball. I think that's her third turnover of the night tonight. So, you know, she knows what she needs to be doing in at that breakdown, and she's doing it well and executing it well. So, you know, it's great to see players like her stepping up and you know, owning that position and owning that area on the pitch as well.
So, what is the future going to be now? Six Nations, obviously, in the new year. Anything on the cards before then, or is it just league and cup at club level?
Yeah, that's I suppose the main part, all right, is just getting the domestic game up and going, up and running, and then it'll be into Six Nations season after Christmas, and then it'll be coming to the women's, and Six Nations will happen then in the April time as well. So busy calendar all the way up to the summertime as well. Then.
Well, we were chatting. Belvedere took the ball wide a couple of times, and they are driving up the middle. They're searching for another score just before half time. And attacking the fringes, testing the Suttonians' defence. Ball laid back. Kelly takes it up to the line, puts it through a gap. And it's desperation stakes for Suttonians. Getting the tackle in, still going the same way, out to the right. Well, super offload from the tackle, but on this occasion it fell.
Yeah, okay. No advantage, under pressure, kick, knocked on. Scrum down, blue ball.
Well, Suttonians getting the scrum. But that was good play from Belvedere again. You wouldn't think they were the ones with 14 on the pitch.
Absolutely not, no. And, they've really responded to this. I think they've really rallied together and kind of said, right, let's just concede nothing in these 10 minutes. And, that's certainly what they're trying to do, and you can see it, all right. And that was a great line break initially from Jess Keating. She's great at running those sharp lines, just getting those pop balls back off the inside, and then gave the ball back to Anya. Nearly came off on the outside, but I think it was a spill there by Hannah Wilson on the wing. So, yeah, I think the ref was right there, kick under pressure, so come back for the scrum to Suttonians.
Well, the kick was touched. It would have been a Suttonian's throw, but referee coming back for the scrum. And on this occasion, I think with help from his assistant, the referee, noticing that one of the props had gone to ground, overextended, not supporting her own weight, and that gives Suttonians the chance then to clear their lines, which they do. It brings play halfway between the 22 and the 10-metre line. Throw in to Suttonians.
They'll be glad to see that now, just to get that bit of pressure off their own try line. Nobody likes to be camped on their own try line, especially on a night like tonight when it's wet and a bit miserable, and you just don't know like that. There's been knock-ons across the pitch, across the evening, so just being able to clear those lines relieves a bit of pressure and just reset.
Into the last couple of minutes of the half now. Suttonians, seems to be some confusion over the call. The referee calling time off.
In the line out. Come on.
One to the front. Quick pass out. Oh,
No, ball down to the line.
nearly intercepted. The chance was there. On this occasion now, driving up through the middle, beating the first tackle, but again, it's an advantage for the knock-on.
Yeah, another knock-on, especially in that contact zone. It's just so slippy out there that I think you really have to just tuck it in, two hands on the ball at all times. And I think it's something we've been taught since we were kids playing any sort of sports. But it's especially on nights like tonight, just put it, two hands on the ball, tuck it in, keep it safe, and just power through.
Securing the ball is the important thing. Changing the front row here. Prop and hooker swapping over.
Fine. Set.
Perhaps Belvedere have noticed something. Either way, it's a good clear take. It comes out to the right, through the gap, and just the line.
Advantage.
Oh, a super tackle. And again, a high tackle. You hear the word sternum for the referee. You know it's going to be about a tackle height. He's just going to have a word with Suttonians.
Super line break there from Jade Gaffney. She just spotted again, spots that gap, and off she goes and puts the burners on. So she did superbly there to get that ball going.
Driving again, much closer to the line. It's come out and it's advantage Suttonians. They have the ball. That's a super bit of poaching there. Anya Rutley really getting down keeping
9, that's time up.
herself supported. Leslie Ring it is on this occasion, trying to snare, and it's a great turnover. Leading from the front, Captain Ring.
She's in her on her feet.
Rightly taking this one in. Gaffney looking for it.
You're playing it on the ground, you release and then you push it back. Playing the ball on the ground.
Well,
Just lost some contact there again. I think it was Anya just scrambling to try and get that ball when she was on the ground. Realised she wasn't in possession anymore and tried to just play it back, hoping the ref would notice. But the ref was right there to spot it. So correct call there from the ref saying playing on the ground. So again, Suttonians have the option to clear their line here. Time's up, so we might just tap and get rid of it there on this one as well.
and that's exactly what she does. Finds the safety of the touchline. Here's the long blast of the referee's whistle. And at half-time here at Ollie Campbell Park, Old Belvedere 5, Suttonians 0. Well, that was helter-skelter half of rugby, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was always going to be like we discussed earlier. Both these teams will fancy themselves the winner, or the favourites in this game. So it's always going to be a tight call between them, and probably good thing Paddy Power went offering on. I don't think he'd get much on either one. So it was good contest for the first half. So let's see how both teams react and bring out in the second half.
Of course, the winners of this game will feel that they have a good chance to build on this, and they'll look to go and break into that top 4 of the league. At the moment, Bowes on top, followed by Railway Union, Blackrock, Ballincollig, and then these two teams firmly in the mid-table. But it's a tough night to be playing rugby. Wet, windy, and dare one say, a little bit on the cold side.
Yeah, these are always the nights, though. You love a bit of a midweek night lights, and it's always good fun. And I think there's plenty of people around. There's a few lads' teams training on the far side, and I think the junior team who would have been training tonight are down watching and stuff. And that's what you want to see. You just want to see people out watching and getting involved and just staying being a part of it in some capacity. So it's always good to see.
Do you want to try camera?
You can see our roving camera person has had enough with 40 minutes of walking up and down in the rain. Is desperately trying to find somebody else to take on the job. There's somebody in a very dry coat. They should be doing it. So, at the end of the first half, Belvedere down to 14, but 5-0 up in a very tight, close contest. And we will join you again for the second half in just a few minutes. Well, welcome back to Ollie Campbell Park, the second half of this AIL Premier League game between Belvedere and Suttonians. As we enter into the second half, Belvedere, as you can see on your screen, the graphic there of the yellow card. Not sent to the bunker, but yellow card. And 5-0 on the board. Just the one try for Belvedere in that first half of competitive, hard-fought rugby. And we're underway for the second half now. Nicely taken at the second attempt. Goes to ground. And now with the wind behind them, Belvedere looking to play the game in the Suttonians half. And it's a good chase as well. Without much support, she's going to be in a bit of trouble here. But does well to make sure that the ball ends up on the Suttonians' side. The attempted clearance is taken in midfield. Bit of pace injected. Quick ball.
Not rolling.
Well, penalty advantage to Belvedere. Suttonians not rolling away. No advantage gleaned. So Belvedere will have a penalty inside the Suttonians half.
Belvedere definitely come out, buzzing for this one. I think, they're going out straight up and putting on the pressure from the get-go. And, you can see there from the kick there straight from Emma Kelly into the backfield and putting that pressure again on Suttonians to force them into doing something with it and force them to have to either push up or drop back and either creating lines in gaps in defence. So you can see what they're certainly trying to make Suttonians make those decisions out in the field.
Well, the yellow card is done now. Gemma Jackson back on the field. She's the one who put the kick into the corner. Both sides back to 15. Jackson slotting straight back in at out half. Emma Kelly moving out to first centre.
Yeah, I can't seem to see any other changes anyway for now, but I'm sure we'll spot some throughout the game.
Well, the ball is dropped and comes out on the Suttonian side. This again will give them a chance to clear their line a little bit, bringing the football infield. Just to give the out half a bit more of an angle. Doesn't make the most advantage of it. And the line out there will be to Belvedere in a fine attacking position.
Just outside there, the 5 metre line. So, like I said, a great position to be starting from. So we'll see now how Belvedere set up. They might go for a maul here in this position, especially just keeping that ball nice and safe and get it through.
And you can see Megan Edwards in the back line, lined up outside. She's trying to come into the line around the corner, but not needed on this occasion as they drive up through the middle. Gaffney collecting ball and tackler at the same time. Can't get the ball away. But it comes back on the Belvedere side. Clodagh Dunn, it is, making the hard-fought inches. Leslie Ring taking it around the corner, looking for a gap, making another few yards. And slowly but surely, the Belvedere pack driving this side forward. Another one out. Hannah Wilson driving, pushing forward. It's only going to take one slip tackle here. They come back to the open side, staying on their feet, being driven forward, finally to ground. Done it is. Laying it back, Gaffney out to Jackson, and it's come across the line, and the simplest of touchdowns.
Yeah, Anya Donnelly there finishing the try well, and a very well worked team try with, I'd say, at least 12 out of the 15 touching the ball there in the last 3-4 phases leading up to that. So that's what you want to see. You want to see kind of working through the hands, being patient, taking the opportunities when they're there and not forcing them when they're not. So you could see there that Leslie Ring had a good strong carry, went to ground when she knew people were there behind her to protect that ball. We're able to recycle it, get it back out again. Jade Gaffney's giving some great ball at the back of the ruck, giving them nice and tidy, which is what you certainly want on a night like tonight. And Gemma Farrell then as well, distributing well. Katie Corrigan did well to get that last pass out to Anya Donnelly as well. So you'll see it here again in the replay with Jade giving a good one out to Gemma, out to Katie. Katie then being able to, under pressure, give it out to Anya by sucking in the defenders. So great finish from Anya and a great team try.
Well, not the easiest of nights to keep the ball in hand across the back line. On this occasion, Jackson makes the conversion. Score moves on to 12-0. And although Belvedere are up by 2 tries and 12 points, it's not really a fair reflection of the game so far. Suttonians certainly not out of this. They've worked hard in that first half, and they'll be looking to do more of the same in the second half.
Definitely, you can see them. They're building momentum. They're building the phases, and you can see they're fatiguing out the Belvedere defence, which has been extremely solid all game so far. So it'd be interesting now to see if they can continue that sustained pressure on them and see if they can eventually break down that line and get over. But at the moment, it seems that Belvedere on the up and going through a strong purple patch, we'll say, and see if they can sustain that as well.
Well, the drop kick cleanly taken, and it's a driving forward. Finally put to ground by 3 Suttonians players. Jackson using her left peg to drive Suttonians back again into their 22. And that's going to be a fine 50-22. That will be a Belvedere line out. And again, in the same position.
Yeah, copy and paste from the previous line out there in the exact same position almost. And great kick there from Gemma Farrell. You could see there exactly what she was trying to do, and she executed it absolutely perfectly. And Megan Edwards was hot on the tail as well, that if it was to carry that bit more, she very easily could have been diving on that herself.
Nice line out move. Front of the line out, back to the hooker. Unfortunately knocked on. Suttonians will welcome the chance. Put their hands on the ball. They haven't really had the chance in this second half. It's all been stout defence from them so far. Well set. Well, I didn't know if the referee had seen this.
Yeah, you can see the touch judge spotted it now, so it'll be interesting to see which way this one goes. I think 14, Amber Redmond there was holding number 3 Anya Rutley back, but then Anya again gave her a shove off the ball. So interesting to see now how it's interpreted, but definitely 2 players involved in the situation. I think fair call as well from the touch judge putting out the flag for foul play.
Well, the officiating crew, of course, working as a team. She's going to have a strong word now. You cannot retaliate. And that's what the penalty is for, the retaliation. It would have been the other way round, I think. But that shove, as you say, a shove of frustration, I think.
That's it.
Nothing more than that.
Yeah, you just can't lose the head, especially in the situation where you've got touch judges. It's not just one set of eyes, it's 3 set of eyes. So, they see a lot more and they can definitely call a lot more as well. So it was a fair call, and definitely just remind the players that there's more than one set of eyes out there.
So Suttonians getting the chance to clear the ball out of their 22. Not too far. The wind's still blowing right to left as you look at the screen. And the knock on means that Belvedere will have another fine attacking platform. Well, whereas we saw the first half as being quite even, at the moment it just seems to be all Belvedere, all play taking place to the left of us.
Yeah, it does a bit, and you just kind of feel that Suttonians are getting a little bit frustrated, a little bit rattled, a little bit kind of frustrated with what their own going ons and things like that as well. So I think they thought maybe they could clear their line here, and then the line out didn't go well, and it's just, like I said, just falling a bit of luck on all Belvedere's side.
One mistake begets another, and this time, lateral running gets her to the corner, and she goes round the corner, looks for the support. Suttonians cover, desperately trying to get across, and it's done a good job. Leslie Ring again, driving up, first receiver. Oh, it's just been put to ground. Rutley it was, put the ball to ground, and the referee will call that one back for the knock-on. No advantage to Suttonians there.
You can see there what they're trying to do, just trying to get that ball into that bit of space, and it just wasn't directly to the chest, which is what you need on a night like tonight. It just had to fumble a bit and just came off the fingertips and came forward. So Suttonians now just give it a chance to breathe. I think the ref's just having a check something. I think Jess Keating there is just down taking a knee, so getting the puff of a few inhalers. So yeah, I think time's just off, and we'll be restarting anyway with a scrum. So I think all's okay once you get a bit of air in the lungs.
Again, just using the inhaler. She recognised quite early that she needed it, went down to one knee, called for it from the sideline, and the referee doing the right thing, just allowing her to get that breathing back to normal. And there'll be a scrum down then. And a couple of changes being made on the Belvedere side.
Yeah, I can see Katie Lade there's coming in for Anya, and not surprised. I think Onia's getting a bit frustrated out there as well. So to save any sort of cars being issued or anything like that, I think it's good wise decision. And Katie Corrigan coming off as well. She's had a cracking game, especially for such a youngster. She's really stepped it up this season. So great to see her getting the minutes and getting the starts. So I think it's Elisa Byrne-White then in for her as well.
Well, picked up by the number 8 again, giving the ball out. Not really to any space or to any purpose. And that's a good tackle by Ring, stopping the Suttonians player in her tracks. It's when the legs aren't taken they can make those extra yards in the tackle. Suttonians trying to put it through a couple of pairs of hands on this occasion. Coming back to the open side. Another fine tackle by the legs. That's what it needs to be. Making yards through the gap in the defensive line. Well taken, because that ball was not sympathetically given. Did well to hang on to that on such a miserable, dirty night. And this will encourage Suttonians. A few phases put together. Ball in the hands. Taking on the Belvedere defence. Probing, testing it. Pass out to the wing. Taken on the bounce and very well taken. But this occasion, not enough space, and she's forced into touch. But back close up to the halfway line. And that's good work from Suttonians. They started that, of course, about 7 metres out from their own line. And they have worked their way up to halfway.
Yeah, they're making the meters slowly but surely, and that's the thing with a game like this. It's not about the big line breaks. It's, the first try came from a lucky line break and a well worked try from Emma Tilley. But in games like this, it's keep it tight, keep it tidy, and just keep trucking through the gain line, because if you can keep going forward 2 or 3 meters, eventually you'll start seeing the difference.
That's a nicely taken ball in the line out. Stretching across, fingertips, bringing it back on the Suttonian side. Now driving again. First receiver, well, hung on to by Ring. Wasn't going to let her make any more ground. We'll see, again, leaving the legs free, tackling high, allowing the Suttonians players. And a quick tap from the penalty. Referee playing advantage. They weren't 10. And they go quickly again. Oh, can't go quickly from the second one. Yeah, referee reaching into his pocket, deciding that was a deliberate foul.
Yeah, you can see what Suttonians were trying to do. I think it was just Caitlin Doran there. I think it is that just got a bit too eager and just tried to stop the player then in her tracks. But referee was wise to it and sent her off now to the bin for 10 minutes. So frustrating for Belvedere since they were on a strong patch. But Suttonians now will be happy to see if they can respond a bit better now, having the extra player as an advantage on the pitch.
Well, for the second time, Belvedere find themselves down to 14. Clock is stopped. Medical attention coming onto the field. Well, it's been a hectic 10 minutes in this second half, and Belvedere, well, they did get that try. Beautiful team try, finished off by Anya Donnelly, and then converted by Gemma Jackson. recently returned from her spell on the sidelines. So 2-0, 15 against 14, and the referee starts time again. Suttonians tap and go again. It's proved to be successful for them. Belvedere have realised that the legs are the place to tackle when these big pack members are carrying the ball up, driving low. Another drive in the middle, footwork taking her past the first. That one went back, ref says. And it's carried on again. Little half gap. Well, that gap closed very quickly by Belvedere. The Suttonians really are stretching them now. And again, she's carrying the tackler with her for a good 5 metres. Just managing to hang on to that ball. And the scrum half has taken the dive through the gap and is looking for the line, and she's going to get there. And that's a super try. Great work by Rachel McElroy. She saw the gap, she went for it, and she ended up carrying a couple of tacklers over the line, and Suttonians will be delighted to be on the board.
Definitely, and it definitely has been deserved as well. They've been knocking, they've been trying, and they've, once they spotted that gap, and Rachel McElroy, she's been playing great for Suttonians, just keeping that control in that back line, and she spotted that gap, just saw a bit of a disconnect, which has been rare in the old Belvedere defensive line this evening. So when she spotted that, she was quick on it, and you can see it here, just a slight disconnect there from Jess Keating and Hannah Wilson, I think it is, on the outside, but they had the overlap there, so the players had to spread, so it was a well worked try and a great finish from Rachel McElroy.
Exactly what Suttonians were looking for. Some reward for their hard work, and it's come to them. First try on the board.
Not too often you see the hooker going for the conversion kick here. So Aoife Brennan here is eyeing up the kick to add the 2 points for Suttonians.
Well, that one just falling under the crossbar. Missing on this occasion. 12-5.
I think that'll give Suttonians now a bit of boost of confidence, just to let them know they're still in that game. It's still there for the taking. It's just a 1-score game now, converted try, and it's all square. So plenty still to play for, plenty of rugby still to play as well. So it'll be an interesting last 25 minutes.
Well, that it certainly will. Jackson with the long drop out. Awkwardly bouncing, but well gathered. Oh, again, it's not just the ball that's slippery here now. The grass exceptionally so. Nice drive again. Places the ball back. Beats one tackle, can't beat the second. You can hear plenty of crowd referees outside suggesting what the referee's missing. Personally, I don't think he's missed anything so far. He's had a fine game. The Suttonians are trying to work their way up towards halfway. Perhaps a little bit loose there. Deemed a Belvedere knock-on, advantage to Suttonians. And he'll blow for it right now.
Nothing coming of it there, so you can see it just bobbled through, and Anya just got a bit tempted, stuck the hand out to try and regather it and just couldn't gather cleanly, so knocked on. And Suttonians were lucky there, because I think if Anya had been able to regather that one, I think she could have had a bit of a clear run in, because Suttonians were up in their attacking line. So they'll breathe a sigh of relief there, and they'll get going here from the scrum.
Well, Suttonians taking advantage of the break in play, gulping in some oxygen. Belvedere just 7 in the pack. You can see we're missing the wing forward on this side, but even so, they got a good shove on. Suttonians having to get the ball out, and they've lost 20 metres. And they're going to lose some more now as the ball goes to ground. Belvedere rampaging through. looking to try and pick up the pieces there, but Suttonians again doing a great job of protecting possession and giving themselves a chance to clear their lines. This one goes down the middle of the pitch. It does find turf, bounces awkwardly, but it also bounces to the advantage of Belvedere. A missed tackle allows the hooker to push on. Jess Keating, yet again, prominent in this game. And now out to the captain. She takes on more defenders, slowly but surely stripping the Suttonians' defence. Desperately cover trying to get across, but the referee's whistle has gone, and he's taking it all the way back. Penalty to Belvedere.
Yeah, just deeming not a no release there on the last tackle there. So good at scoring opportunity here, attacking opportunity. So let's see how it pans out.
Leslie Ring it is who drives up first of all. Suttonians going over the top on that ball. They've stolen it. Wow. That is going to be a scrum 5. Just in their eagerness to get the ball out of the tackle, Suttonians piling the pressure on themselves and eventually having to touch the ball down, having carried it across the line. So a scrum 5 to Belvedere. And my goodness, this would be exactly the attacking platform that Belvedere will be looking to profit from.
Definitely now. They'll see if they even up the back row, if they put the flanker in just to kind of steady the ship a bit there and see if they can drive it over. I think they've got Monona in there now in at the flank. So you can see they're kind of trying to get a steady scrum, see if they can maybe just make those 5 metres across the try line and dot it down, or maybe they'll spin it out wide, but with a lack of numbers at the back, I'd say they'll probably try and keep it in the scrum and keep it safe.
Well, the forwards driving now. Picked up by the number 8. There's a penalty. Suttonians deemed to have collapsed that scrum. One felt the referee might have let advantage go a little bit. Now, tap and go. Murta it is, drives to within 2 metres. Comes back on the open side. Dunn it is, trying to drive away to the line. She's held up and brought down just this side of the line. It goes wide again. And that's a fine try the referee awards as Monona gets the ball and taps it down just right next to the posts. Well, the wave after wave of attack and pressure on top of Suttonians finally paying off. And once Belvedere managed to get a couple of passes together, then they found some space. And the centre just cut away through between 2 defenders and safely dotted down. Another try, a third try for Belvedere, just 1 short of the bonus point now. And they've moved on to 17. Suttonians, of course, with that 1 try. Now on 5. But here it is. You can see the cover is stretched already. And just that missed tackle on the inside shoulder. Found the soft shoulder. Found a way to the line. And safest of tries for Belvedere.
Yeah, Monona's great for that. You know, she can another one of those players who can just spot a gap and just utilise it. So it's great to have her on the team because she can just make spaces from nowhere.
The conversion goes over. The score moves to 19-5. Belvedere now just stretching that gap out. 2 converted tries clear. And they feel that with just 20 minutes to go in this game, they're now in control of it, and they can now start to assert perhaps a bit more dominance. Won't be long till that yellow card is done. Just a minute or 2 to go.
Yeah, you can see Caitlin Doran there just getting warmed up again, so I'd say she'd be reintroduced back into the game. But to be able to score when you're a player down is fantastic. You know, that's a real statement to say, well, you know, we're going nowhere, we're going forward. So I'd say they definitely will be fancying trying to get that 4th try and get that bonus point.
Well, the drop kick off, taken cleanly. Driven back towards the 10-metre line. And now Jackson again, looking for the big boot. Manages to find turf. A couple of bounces. But then the Suttonians player beating the covering tacklers before finding the line of defence of Belvedere just a little too much to get through. It's Suttonians looking at the blind side, decide to go open, and it's been put down, and that'll be another scrum down, but there could be no, the referee deciding no advantage there. And he calls for another scrum.
Yeah, introduction now. I think the yellow card is going to try and come back in there now, I think. Yeah, I think so. Yep. So she's back in now. So we're back up to 15 on 15. And I think with the main thing with Suttonians here is not to panic, not to get flustered, just to kind of keep their heads, because the rugby they're playing is good rugby, but they just need to kind of keep focused on that, try and get another few scores on the board. They definitely deserve it because they're putting the pressure on, they're playing the right stuff. So it's just a case of really just keeping the cool and keeping the heads, and just keep the ball in play.
Well, as AIL said, that yellow card that's on our graphic, actually not there any longer. 15 against 15, as Jackson tries to slide through the gap, gets the ball away, but unfortunately the pass not quite sympathetic enough and difficult to take in this rain. And it's a knock-on and a Suttonian scrum. And again, we just feel a bit of the rhythm leaving the game after that try was scored. Belvedere went through a patch there of superb pressure and running and hands, and it just seems to have slipped away again.
I think it's been a physical game. I think both sides are putting in massive hits. They're protecting every ruck. They're putting extra bodies into every ruck, and there's been a hell of a lot of scrums as well. So I think there's definitely going to be tired bodies out there. We'll start seeing, I'd say, even more substitutions coming in now, and benches starting to be emptied, I would say. So I can see Nicole Rafferty's in there as well on the wing. So she's also come in there for Megan Edwards, looks like. So yeah, I definitely see a bit of fatigue setting in. So we'll see how they respond.
Well, it's one thing to play one of these games on a Saturday afternoon when you've got the whole of Sunday to lie in bed or lie on the couch at home. But, of course, everybody has work in the morning. There'll be a few sore bodies. Suttonians, again, trying to drive through the forwards, trying to make some ground. Driving and driving again. Well, that is superb work. Must have carried half the Belvedere pack on her back there to make those extra yards. It's got the ball outside the 22. This kick is going to have to... Oh, it's charged down. Well, there's a frenzy in the middle of the park as people look to see where that charge down had gone. And now it's come out on the Belvedere side. Goes to ground. Needs the support. It's there for her. Jackson it is, playing at scrum half on that occasion. Goes back to out half now. The forwards again driving and driving up. Caitlin Doran, well, she's taken advantage of having that 10-minute break. And the energy levels back up for her now. Ball goes wide, well left by Jackson. And superb play and a great pick-up. And that's a super try under the posts. Elise O'Byrne-White, it is, finishing off that move. But it was the pass that was given to her that made that try. It
was fantastic. And, it started off with a rip from Monona in the middle of the park there. And she just saw the opportunity, ripped it out, pulled it out left. And there was another break as well from Nicole Rafferty down the left wing slightly. And she did well. I think she had 2 or 3 Suttonians girls on her. So she did well to protect that ball and get it back to the scrum half. Gemma Jackson slotting in there at scrum half. So it was nice to have players who can play in a few positions in those situations. So she did well getting that ball back inside. And then, as you can see here, so it was, the charge down was complete there. I think it was by Emma Tilley, I think. And there, the ball, Gemma very smartly leaves the ball. And Monona again gives that offload. Great hands there from Elise. But again, it's Monona in the middle there just setting up this fantastic try. And Elise does fantastically there to hold on to the ball on any occasion, given, especially on a night like tonight when it's wet and slippy.
Jackson showing her experience with the ball that was shot out to her. And it went along the ground. She knew that if she went for it, the chances were it was going to be a knock-on. She left it completely alone, left it, trusted in her partners outside her. And that was a big part of that try getting in. Well, Gemma Jackson dropping the goal for the conversion. She couldn't set the ball up properly. I think the referee told her she was running out of time. She just went with the drop kick, and it worked. And now 26-5 to Belvedere. They have the bonus point in play, and it looks like they're going to make 5th place their own by the end of this game as we enter into the last 10-15 minutes or so. this kickoff finding the turf. Belvedere running it back, running with a bit more confidence now. A gap in points, allowing them to play. Well, Gemma Jackson's kick to no avail as the referee gives Belvedere the penalty. Well, there it is. It fell off the tee. And as she was setting it up, the referee told her how much time she had left. She couldn't get it to settle.
Yep.
So, who needs a tee?
Yep. Over she goes.
Popped it over. And that was another 2 onto the total.
Yeah, and it's the smarts and the rugby experience from players like Gemma who've been playing rugby for a number of years, and you know, to have the smarts to kind of say, let's not panic, let's just slide it over and get going again, and that's what you want to see.
And you saw evidence of that experience there. Jackson was lined up to kick it down the other touchline. Saw there was too many covering players there. Saw the gap on this side and pumped it down onto the turf. And now Suttonians having to work their way back up. They've got back up to halfway. We are looking to drive forward again. Well, the scrum half had a look down the blind side, didn't like what she saw. Too much defence and not enough attackers. Nice floated pass out to the winger. She beats one, makes the ball available. They go round the corner again. And then the referee has said the ball has gone forward. And it'll be a scrum down to Belvedere as they make more changes.
Yeah, you can see number 19 there, Charlotte Nagel's coming in. Can't see who's coming off just yet. Oh yeah, it's scrum half there. Yeah, Jade Gaffney. I think she's had a fantastic game, so she's definitely deserved her break now. And you know, she's been absolutely phenomenal. Again, a player for her age. She's just been phenomenal all season so far. Just her control of the game, her pace of the game, her passing accuracy. You know, her decision making. It's been really impressive for herself for this game and for the other games in the season so far.
Well, that's a fine game for Gaffney. She has made way now. And Charlotte Nagel. Very different team now with the clearing of the bench. But if anything, Belvedere looking stronger now than they have in any part of the game. That one pushed down the touchline. And that's nice play. Again, you can see Belvedere, you get the feeling they're almost just turning the screw now. They feel that they've seen off the best that Suttonians can send at them, and they're just applying pressure now.
Yeah, I think they're comfortable now. They're happy just to sit back. You can see 2 more players now. I think you can see Onya and Laura Sampson trying to get onto the pitch, just waiting for the referee's nod of approval. So 2 more subs coming in, but like that, Belvedere just coming into their own now and really just settling.
The dark night sky above as the players leaping for the ball. They line out over very quickly. This is the one corner that we can't really see from our sitting position, but you can see the referees awarded the penalty, and this will allow Suttonians to clear their line somewhat.
So just another high tackle there, the refs saying. So I think they'll definitely want to be careful. I think if it was any earlier in the game, I think there'd definitely be a warning here. But I think with 8 minutes left, you know, only so much warnings that can be done. So see how the referee controls it. But definitely, I think that's the 3rd high tackle now on Belvedere in this match.
Well, the touch judge marking the spot. It will be the Suttonians' throw. Kick to touch after the penalty. Another jump at the front, well taken by the scrum half, and a good long pass out to our out half. It didn't stop the Belvedere back row hunting her down. Mercer it was, who made sure the out half got no chance to kick and could only take the ball into contact. A lovely driving maul there from Belvedere. On this occasion, the referee deciding a player coming in at the side on the clear out. gives Suttonians yet another penalty. They're looking to run from inside their 22. One admires their adventure. And the referee is going to ping that. You can't just get up with the ball again. You have to have released. And I think that's just a knowledge of the rules as much as anything else. Certainly not deliberate.
Definitely. You can see what McAllister was trying to do. Saw that she wasn't really held there, but then the second tackler was in on top. So it was an easy, Adon was trying to get over that ball to poach it. Couldn't do so as the player was trying to get up, but hadn't released the ball before getting up. So, an easy call for the ref there in the middle to make. So an unfortunate one, as you can see that they were trying to just spread that ball out wide and trying to just truck it up the middle where they can as well. Just trying to keep Belvo on their toes instead of trying to just clear their lines for the kick. As their lineouts haven't been the most secure. So, I think options like that are the right ones. So, I think just unfortunate in that situation.
I can understand what they're trying to do and how they're trying to do it, but unfortunately, when they make the error, it's just piling the pressure back on themselves. This is now a Belvedere scrum on the 22, and there's a couple of changes now on the Suttonian side. Well, you can see these players have given their absolute all in this hour and a quarter we've seen so far as we head into the last 5 minutes of this game. Belvedere have their bonus point, they have their 4 tries. And it's been a good team performance for them. They'll be pleased going through to the rest of the season, knowing that A, there is stuff they can work on, but B, there is stuff that is working very well. This one goes out along the back line. Gemma Jackson in the centre at this occasion. Her pass a little bit loose, but if anything, that's helped play break down a bit. And Suttonians surely putting in a great effort to try and rescue that ball. Jackson it is, does the tidying up on the outside, and they get the ball out on the wing. Katie Lady, big drive, Dunn passes it on. And there's loads of space out to the right. They take it up through the cover, and again, down the blind side again, Jackson shoveling it on. Nicole Rafferty taking that one in. Driven up again, and the line can't be too far away now. Players lining up left, right and centre here. A big drive towards the line, just a metre short. Jackson it is who puts the ball behind, and again Donnelly taking advantage. At the end of a good team move, she knows exactly when and where to pop up in that back line to grab the try.
Yeah, she's been fantastic. She did play a good bit of rugby in at the out half position, but having her there as an option of 15 is fantastic. It just gives her that bit of space and a bit of control to determine where she needs to be and where she needs to pop up, like you said. So it's fantastic to see. And then also having someone who's so confident under the air, under the ball, with a strong boot and strong distribution abilities in at 15 is always an extra bonus. So fantastic finish for Anya, and a great one for the AIL Confidence, getting 2 tries in one evening.
Well, Gemma Jackson it is who's going to take the conversion. As we look back and see this try, you see the big drive by the forwards time and time again, just tying up the Suttonians players. My goodness, they must be exhausted at this stage. Plenty of tackling to be done today by both teams, in fairness. But there's where the experience of Jackson came in. She knew just to pop that ball behind the back line to the player coming round, and that opened up the space and left it wide open for Donnelly just to touch down.
Yeah, that's it. And it's just that manipulating of the defence. And as I always say, kind of making the defence make the decision, and then you just react to it, as opposed to it being the opposite way around. And that's the way to play the rugby, see those spaces and utilise them. And that's exactly what happened there. JJ saw it, and so did Anya and the rest of the attacking back line, and over they went for the 5th try.
Well, Jackson has made a big difference since her appearance, including a yellow card. But I would say I like the look of Kelly early on, running out half. She did nothing wrong, but Jackson just has that level of experience to know the right play at the right time, and that can make such a difference. A little bit of kick tennis from both sides. And again, it's the experienced Jackson who pumps the ball down into touch, down at the halfway line, and that's exactly what Belvedere were looking for.
Great clearance kick there, especially given where she was on the pitch. tight angle there for her to get that ball away, and she did so fantastically. Just got it beyond the halfway line by about a metre or two, but again alleviates any sort of pressure that's on them, and they can just settle now and see this game out with about 2.5 minutes to play.
Depends which clock you look at, really, doesn't it? We have no idea when the final whistle will go, but one thing's for sure at this stage: when it does go, it will be Belvedere who walk away with the victory, but a hard-fought victory at that. This one not straight, the referee signalling such, and he calls for the scrum on the 15-yard line.
I'd say at this stage of the game, I'd say the front rows are proper fatigued now, and I'd say obviously even though there are new bodies and new shoulders in there, I'd say there's still certainly going to be some sore necks tomorrow morning waking up trying to go to work. So as you said, Tuesday nights are great for the spectators, players not so much.
Well, at least they could enjoy their weekend anyway. The price to be paid is the price now, and the price tomorrow morning. Ball goes in safely there at the base of the Belvedere pack. And Mercer, well, she's been allowed to make 25, 30, 35 metres without touch. And then the ball has gone forward. And it will be a scrum down to the Suttonians if they don't take advantage of the situation now. She's through the first tackle, not quite into open field, looks for support. And the ball goes to ground. And the advantage was over. And the referee has, in fact, blown the final whistle. And the final score here at Ollie Campbell Park tonight in this AIL Women's Premier League Division game between Suttonians and Belvedere. Belvedere the victors, 5 tries, 31 points to Suttonians' single try. Super game, Hayley.
Super game, yeah, fantastic. And you really see Suttonians there. They have a lot of new names on that team sheet, and they're really building themselves up to be a really solid squad there. So, they have a change of coaching personnel in there as well, and it's definitely the start of something good for them. So I hope they keep the momentum, keep building, and they could be on something special.
Well, that win for Belvedere means now they have 2 wins from their 3 games. And they'll be looking to challenge those top 4 and hopefully make it up to that part of the table. But that's a hard-fought win on what was a dirty, wet, cold, miserable evening. But a great game to watch.
Fantastic game, yeah. I really enjoyed it, and it's always great to see these sort of games being streamed and being able to get it out to some sort of a wider audience. So that's in any capacity, just be able to show it is fantastic. So kudos to everyone involved.
Well, many thanks to the people who did tune in and watch. It makes it all worthwhile knowing that you're out there watching. Well, this was the first try of the game. You can see that attempted tackle, just too high. And despite the left winger's best efforts to get back, nothing was going to stop that first try being scored. Then for the second, well, it was pressure. This is the one where we said that probably 12 of the team touched the ball on its way. And Donnelly, she found out the right time to join in to score the try. And that was a super try by McElroy. She saw the gap, she went for it, and she took on the defence. And then this was the bonus point try. And this one went wide, and this was just super work, taking the soft shoulder and in. And in fact, the 5th try as well was very similar to that. After this charge down, the ball went across, and as it comes out, Jackson leaves that one alone. Beautiful pass out of the tackle, beautiful pick-up, and then in she went, sliding in under the post. Well, a fine win for Belvedere, topped off by, well, the showmanship, the circus act that was Gemma when she couldn't get this ball to balance on the tee. So she picked up the other 2 points, just like that. So a super game here in Ollie Campbell Park. I don't know when the next game is.
I think they've a break weekend now with the bank holiday weekend next weekend. So they have a game this Saturday, I believe. Putting me on the spot now as well, but yeah, there's a few more games involved anyway coming up, and then it'll be the bank holiday, which will be a well-deserved break. So bodies will be happy with that, I'm sure.
Well, keep an eye on Old Belvedere Women's Rugby Twitter page. That will give you the information about when the next game is and where it is and how you can catch up with it. But for now, from myself and Hayley, we'd like to thank you for joining us this evening. And given a choice of this or the Great British Bake Off, well, I chose to be here, and certainly at least 60 people out there also decided to join us. Fabulous evening. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon.
Every used car has a story. At Windsor Certified, all ours have a happy ending. Buy used with confidence. Windsor, drive happy.